Hey everyone, my name's Jim Bob. How the hell are ya? I don't do ranking videos very often on this channel, and I don't really know why, but I want to do more of these in future, so here we go. Recently, Hollywood and the world lost an icon, a legend and one true superhero. Chadwick Boseman passed away from stage 4 colon cancer on the 24th of August 2020. Some may say he wasn't in the limelight that long to even be considered a legend, but I disagree. Through his very short time in Hollywood, Chadwick managed to reach into the hearts of millions of people by even going through tough movie roles in between surgeries and chemotherapy. This guy kept it a secret because he just wanted to see people smile, and he didn't want anyone's pity. He did all this for his family, his friends, and his fans. And so to honour this absolute legend of a guy, I'm going to give you my top 5 movies by Chadwick Boseman. Let's talk about them. Number 5, Message from the King.
Everybody's looking for something in this place. Come here looking for the one thing in the world that you think is going to make you happy.
Message from the King is about a South African man named Jacob who saves up his hard-earned money to travel to the United States looking for his sister, Bianca. Right here we pretty much have a very basic revenge story. This guy's sister has been murdered and Jacob, played by Chadwick Boseman, hunts down the men responsible. If I'm being honest guys, I didn't enjoy this film all that much, not because it was bad or badly edited or badly acted, but it's mainly down to the fact that not a lot happens. It's very slow, and throughout the entirety of it, you're kind of sitting there wondering when things are going to get slightly better when they just never do. Now again, it's not bad. The performances are actually pretty solid. Chadwick is good, and I also like Teresa Palmer. I thought she was pretty good, and performances from Luke Evans and Alfred Molina were all really good. But I think it's the script that's the movie's biggest problem here. We have all this star power behind the film, none of the characters have any depth to them. Things just seem to happen, like Teresa Palmer's character instantly trusting Chadwick's character after almost no interaction with him or no lines of dialogue, no depth. Not a lot of build up and the relationship just sort of happens. Overall, the very presence of Chadwick Boseman in this movie is good. He carries the entire thing, but unfortunately it falls under the okay category. It's not very memorable, but there are some enjoyable scenes. Number 4, 21 Bridges.
Police! Police, don't move, don't move, don't move! Clear the doorway, clear the doorway, clear the doorway!
21 Bridges I actually enjoyed. While not being anything spectacular, the very charm, charisma and powerful performance from Chadwick Boseman is what makes this a very enjoyable watch. So we have Chadwick Boseman, who's a police officer trying to solve the case of a shooting. New York goes into lockdown to try and stop these criminals from leaving, and it's a race against the clock. Now, it's nowhere near the best cop thriller that I've ever seen. It's definitely not on the same level as something like Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, The Equalizer or Patriot Days. It falls under the same category to me as crime films like Rush Hour. It's an entertaining ride from beginning to end with some enjoyable action, but nothing that amazing where you put it next to action scenes like Ethan Hunt clinging onto a building or the chase scene in Terminator 2. This film is more like, it's just more of Chadwick Boseman's character, Andre, turning up at a crime scene, explaining what he sees and then moving on. In some places, scenes with these two guys who are on the run from Andre are more interesting. Overall, it's a fun watch, but not something I'd call amazing. Chadwick's great though, watch it for Chadwick. Number 3, Black Panther.
I never yielded! And as you can see, I am not dead!
What might be number 1 on most people's list is Chadwick's first solo entry into the MCU as King T'Challa as he battles against a ruthless Killmonger for the future of Wakanda and possibly the world. By all means, I think Black Panther is a very solid superhero movie, but I don't think it's an absolutely mind-blowing piece of cinema like it was made out to be when it came out. There are a lot of things that happen in this film which I don't like, but a lot that I do like as well, so I'll start off by saying that Chadwick is so fucking good in this film. He nails it. This man can act. He blends humour and seriousness together beautifully, as this film could be funny in places, and overall the character of T'Challa just sells it for me. Kids finally have a black superhero to look up to now. Now, I know there was Blade back in the 90s, yeah, we had Blade, but Blade didn't really stand on the same level as Black Panther. Not just Chadwick, but the performances in this film overall are pretty great. I like the dynamic between T'Challa and Killmonger, how they both just have this different view on what Wakanda should be, which causes internal conflict and external conflict. Killmonger thinks giving out Wakanda's weapons to the world will help help the less fortunate countries defend themselves, while T'Challa doesn't necessarily disagree, but he knows Killmonger is going about it in the wrong way. So with a character like Killmonger, who, mind you, played brilliantly by Michael B. Jordan, you actually understand his motives. But unfortunately, the film has stuff in it which isn't that great, and it's mainly some of the really fake-looking effects, particularly in the end fight scene with T'Challa and Killmonger. And after a great rivalry that was built up during the film, it's disappointing how the final fight scene looks exactly like early PS3 graphics. And what gets me is that Black Panther was shown doing all these really cool stunts in Civil War and stuff, but in this film, all he does is get his ass handed to him quite a lot. Overall, this is a solid film, but it's not perfect. Chadwick once again is fantastic though. Number 2, Da 5 Bloods.
Money is about want. Every time I walk out my front door, see cops patrolling my neighborhood like it's some kind of police set, I can feel just how much I ain't worth.
Da 5 Bloods is Chadwick's most recent outing before his passing, and I kept contemplating on whether to add this movie to the list or not, because Chadwick Boseman is barely in the movie. So basically there's these 4 ex-soldiers who were in the Vietnam War. They go back to Vietnam decades later to find the remains of their fallen leader, Stormy Norm, played by Chadwick Boseman. And so we only really see Chadwick through flashback sequences which don't last very long because the movie's main focus is the 4 guys in the present. But it's Chadwick's character Stormy Norman that plays a huge part with what goes down in the past and what is currently going down in the present. He's the very reason we have a plot. He's the stick of gum clinging together these 4 guys, or as they call themselves, Bloods. He's the very soul and essence that follows these guys around throughout this movie's pretty long 2-hour 35-minute runtime. He's the inner voice that they all hear, so you can pretty much say that Chadwick's character was there in spirit. And so this movie definitely deserves a spot on this list because it's absolutely fantastic. The acting all around, though it may be incredibly loud and in your face sometimes, but each character knocks it out the park with really powerful performances, which is so engaging to watch. Though this movie is absolutely brilliant, it's also quite hard to watch in places. It shows at the very start of the film some actual real-life footage of bad shit that went down around the Vietnam War, or the state of the world in general, and some of these scenes can be quite disturbing, so viewer discretion is very mindful here. I also like the way that Spike Lee used different aspect ratios in different scenes, wherever it would cut back and forth from the past and present. Overall, Da 5 Bloods is really goddamn good. But there's one film which I thought was even better. Kind of, I'll explain. But for the number 1 spot, it's Get On Up.
What was I talking about? Oh yeah, you gotta take a shit. Now imagine, unhitching your pants. As you open the door to your master bathroom and you see me, James Brown, just sitting there, taking a break. What would you do?
Get On Up is the biographical drama about the legendary singer of funk and soul, James Brown. This by far is Chadwick Boseman's best portrayal of any character ever. He absolutely kills it in this role. He nailed everything about James Brown's persona, from the guy's iconic dance moves, to his over-the-top personality, to his voice, his talking voice anyway, and I've barely ever seen such a performance that nails a real person in real life this well. This movie dives deep into the ups and downs of James Brown's life, from his abusive father all the way to his rise to stardom. At first, when this movie starts, we're a little confused as to what's going on because the movie jumps back and forth in and out of 3 or 4 different time zones. And so for the first 20 minutes of the film, you sort of spend it trying to keep up with where you are in the story, but after that, the story flows beautifully. This is such a great depiction of James Brown because not only does it dive into the great things about him, it also dives into the fact that he wasn't always a very nice person. There were moments where James would treat people like complete and utter shit, but overall his heart was always in the right place. So overall, I do think Da 5 Bloods is a better movie. Here's what I was explaining just a minute ago. But Chadwick's phenomenal performance and the fact that there's more of him in this film is what gives it the top spot. So Get On Up comes at number 1. So Chadwick Boseman will be missed, and once again I want to honour this guy for all the great movies he's made, the people he's made smile, and the impact he's had on the world. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Wakanda forever. Thank you very much, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I want to do more ranking videos in future, so let me know if you enjoyed it. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you like what I do here, consider clicking that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Remember, it's not just a movie, it's an experience. Take care, everyone, and have a good day.